My name is Luann Watrick, and you're watching Things to Do at the Grosse Pointe War Memorial. This show highlights all of the special classes and events that we do here. And my guest has been on the show before and has also done many wonderful lectures at the War Memorial. I'm very delighted to welcome to the show a professor of the classics, Dr. Lena Hatzikaloglu. Welcome to the show, Lena.
Thank you, Luann. Good to be back.
Good. Well, it's always fun to have you here because I learn so much about what you're going to be doing here at the War Memorial. Now, in the past, you've done lectures on different expressions. Maybe tell the audience a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was last year, that we did 4 lectures based on expressions that we use in the English language of today, like Pandora's box or Achilles' heel, and we explored the story behind that and why we say that. Right. But this year, I had 4 lectures, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring, that are going to be based on the Odyssey of Homer, which is, of course, one of the epics, which are the earliest pieces of literature in the Western world.
Right.
And the Odyssey is such a wonderful epic because it's full of adventure, learning, romance, and exploration. Right. And so it's a fascinating story, but it has so many things that are pertinent in the world of today, and that's what I want to bring up.
Right. Well, before we talk about the lecture you're going to be doing, it's called The Goddess in the Odyssey and in Your Life. What I wanted you to do, for those that aren't familiar with you or your background, tell the viewers a little bit about where you had your, got your passion of the classics and what you've done.
Yeah, well, let's see, of course, as you can tell from my accent, and everybody
and
has
your
heard
name
me before, and my name. I was born and raised in Greece. I'm Greek, and I did my undergraduate education in Greece, but I came to this country to do my graduate work. I got my PhD in classics, which is in literature, not music,
right.
At Johns Hopkins, and then I've been a professor of classics ever since, plus that I have my own company now that I do public speaking through, which is called Hellenic Visions. But the point is that ever since I was in high school, the classics, for some reason, they had some kind of magic and fascination for me that I lost track of time every time that I was studying,
Right.
And so I decided to pursue it as my career, but it's much more than my career. It's my life's work and passion, yeah.
Sure. And as we were talking before the interview, things have changed so much with technology. We're into I want it now, I want to download it, I want to hear it, I want to hear the music, I want to hear the book on tape. So what you're doing is you're trying to keep the love of reading and the love of history and the love of mythology, the classics alive, and that's really your passion. It's not just telling a story.
Exactly. But you see, the point is that what I want to bring up, is the power of the story. Because not necessarily only through reading, because you see, those stories were passed from generation to generation through the oral tradition.
Right.
Because people sat around the fireplace, by the fireplace, and they told stories. Or these stories were being told by the bards at the courts of the nobles and the kings, and they entertained them. And they spent whole hours and whole evenings listening to the story. So in that respect, our world is not so much different from the old world, because the story, the power of the story is what fascinates me. Fascinates me and, the world.
And others.
I mean, all of us. The problem is that the way we tell stories has changed. And the way we tell stories has become so fast that we don't have time to get the meaning.
Right, the metaphor.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about, now the name of this lecture, and I want to get my note here so I don't misread it, The Goddess in the Odyssey and in Your Life. So what is that going to be about? Tell us a little bit about that story without giving away the entire.
Well, I can't possibly, in 2 minutes give it away.
Left, right?
But the point is that anybody who is familiar with the Odyssey knows that, of course, Odysseus is the main character. But Odysseus is a hero, which is a different type of hero. He's a hero of the mind. Because he becomes a hero because he solves problems, he saves the day because he can think on his feet, which is so pertinent for the world of today.
Sure.
And therefore, the thing is that ever present in the epic is the goddess Athena, who really inspires him and the people around him and creates the circumstances through which, things really happen.
Right.
But the point is that people are not quite aware who the goddess is.
Why is that?
Because she appears in different forms. She takes up the form of a friend of the family, or of a girlfriend, of a dream, of a mentor, of you name it. Okay. And people are not even aware where that idea came from. But in essence is the goddess in disguise that has come. She's present.
So she's the feminine versus the masculine.
Exactly. She is the feminine, which is the feminine, and we're not talking about men and women,
right,
but we're talking about the feminine in all of us, which conceives the idea, which really understands what needs to be done, and nurtures the idea in order to manifest.
Right.
And of course the masculine takes over, but
Exactly.
it's absolutely necessary that the feminine, the goddess, enters, inspires, is being conceived in order for the idea to be manifested.
Excellent. Well, I hate to tell you, but we're really at the end of our interview.
I mean,
as usual, we have so much fun talking.
Yeah.
If you've just joined me, my name is Luann Watrick, and I'm talking to Dr. Lena Hatziklonoglu. She's a professor of the classics. She's going to be doing a wonderful lecture, and it's going to be called The Goddess in the Odyssey and in Your Life. It's going to be a one-time event. Make sure you give us a call at 881-7511 or visit us online or drop in. It is a one-time class, and the seats do sell out. So please make sure you call us early. Thanks so much, Lena, for coming to the show again.
Thank you, Luann.